Hey guys, and welcome to RuneShop Experiments. So in today's video I'll be going through some of the combinations that you can use to increase your damage. In the past I've done like 7 episodes already of RuneShop Experiments, and I've tested things like overloads, turmoil, momentum, things like that, to find out how effective they really are. So I thought I'd make a video about some of the combinations, what scenarios you might use them in, and like what kind of damage you could expect, and whether they work together and things like that. So anyway, so on the screen you can see the first experiment that I did. So the first one I did was I looked at all of the momentum, overload, and turmoil combination together to see exactly what they will give you. And I also added in the Slayer helm because most people that do Slayer, they use those 3 combinations. So adding a Slayer helm just shows you exactly what kind of damage you can really expect. So as you can see, before the experiment, I did a test on what the Drygor Longsword, which I'm using right now, it does a damage of 1102. When I tested it, my maximum hit was 1182 damage. Then when I hit the dummies right here, I did another experiment for another 10 minutes with a combination of all 3 of those things, overload, turmoil, and momentum, and I managed to hit a 1858, which is pretty much, it's very close to a 700 damage increase. Which equates to 57.2% of a damage increase. Now, I did individually test all these different things, such as overloads, turmoil, and momentum, and when I added those up, I actually got a individual add up of 61%, which kind of indicates that either I didn't hit the maximum hit, or there's a little bit of a reduction for using a combination, but I'm not 100% sure about that. So it's around about 57 to 61% of a damage increase by using all 3 combinations. Now when you use the Slayer helmet on top of that, it's around about a 75 to 80% damage increase if you combine everything together. So if you're doing a Slayer assignment, if you have a combination of all 3, you can expect to kill pretty much a little bit less than double the speed. So yeah, anyway, let's go on to the next experiment. So on the next experiment, I decided to test a combination of turmoil and overloads. Now the reason for this is because when you go bossing and things like that, usually you have a combination of these 2. You have turmoil and overloads. Generally you don't use things like momentum or a Slayer helmet, even though I will say that for Calfight, King, I do have a Calfight Slayer task, and I do use a Slayer helm to do Calfight King. So I will include that in the results. So as you can see, well, you can see it on the screen. So yeah. Anyway, so in this experiment, I got a damage of 1642. Wait, that's about a 500. No, a little bit less. This is about a 460 damage increase, which equates to 38.9% of an increase in damage using turmoil and overloads. And when I use a combination of Slayer helm, turmoil, and overloads, you get a 55.6% damage increase. So if you can do that, highly suggest using it over Void, because you can use things like Torva or Bandos instead and get the armor rating instead. So yeah, anyway, that's pretty much turmoil and overloads. It's pretty good, 38.9% increase. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. So this is momentum and overloads. So if you're in a situation where you might be able to use extremes, but you don't have the prayer level, then you might be in the situation where you don't have turmoil. So I know it's pretty unlikely that you'll have overloads and not turmoil, but at the same time, you might as well test it. So here we go. So just the Drago Longsword on its own is 1182. When you use a momentum and overloads, I managed to hit a 1579, which is about a 400 damage increase. It gave me a percent increase of 33.6%, and when used with a Slayer Helm, you get a 50.3% increase in damage. So yeah, I just rewatched this video and I noticed that I missed out a very important combination. The combination I'm talking about is turmoil and momentum. So basically the reason I find this very important is because it's more likely that more people will have turmoil, because first of all, it costs a lot less than to get Herblore. It also has more benefits, such as soul splits, which benefit you much more, and also it's more effective than overloads because it does more damage, pretty much double the amount of damage. So having turmoil is pretty much one of the most important things. Now, the reason I find it very important, that this combination, is because you use it for Slayer a lot. It's a very cheap way to train Slayer, but in a very effective way, because not everyone wants to use overloads. They want to use a combination of turmoil and momentum. Now, I also included like the Slayer comparison as well. So basically what I found was when I used turmoil and momentum in combination, I got a damage of 1710, which is about, let's see, it's about a 500, or yeah, I think so. It's about a 500 damage increase, a little bit more, 530. And it gave me a percent increase in damage of 44.7%. Now, when I tested it, when I added up individually what turmoil and momentum gave, it gave me a 46.9% increase. But when I used them together, they only gave a 44.7% increase. So I'm going to say they give around a 45% increase together, just on average. So when you use a Slayer Helm with this, you get around a 61.7% increase. So it's pretty much like a 60% increase in damage if you use a combination of all those three. And it's a very cheap and effective way to train Slayer. So yeah, anyway, back to the video. So yeah, anyway guys, if you have any questions about this, just leave a comment. I'll just leave a final like thing on the screen telling you the percentages. So a combination of all three gives you a 57.2% increase to like around about 60%. Then when you use the Slayer Helm with that, you get around an 80% increase. If you use turmoil and overloads, you get about a 40% increase, and with a Slayer Helm, 55% increase. When you use momentum and overloads, you get about a 30, like I'd say 30, 35 just to make it a round number, increase, and with the Slayer Helm, about a 50% increase. Anyway guys, that's pretty much it. I'm going to be making more RuneShop experiments in the future, so subscribe if you want. Anyway guys, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.